Saddle up with AMSN this fall by registering for the 2025 AMSN Convention happening September 11 through 13 in Austin, Texas.
You're in for 3 days of medical surgical excitement.
At the convention, you'll join hundreds of like-minded nurses at enriching educational sessions led by over 80 industry speakers, 11 different networking and meetup opportunities, and so much more.
Elevate your medical surgical practice by joining us in Austin for #AMSN 2025.
Register now at amsn.org/events/AMSN Convention.
On this episode of med-surg Moments, the upcoming 2025 AMSN Annual Convention.
Busy time for me because 3 of my 4 kids have birthdays in October, and I'm really bad at planning ahead. So it's always like a week.
So our church hosted this huge back-to-school bash.
I was just recently in Rome and the Vatican. We didn't go to the catacombs, but we went to the crypts.
Found out that we as a hospital would be approved to open another building.
Jeez, am I just rotting like a fungus on a log right here? I'm just trying to survive and you're out here making changes in the world.
I applied for work to fund the trip for me so that I wouldn't have to take time off of work to go. And it is.
I too applied for the AMSN grant to attend the convention, and I was awarded that grant.
That's definitely what I would list as number one. Is I can't.
For me, I have never been to an AMSN convention.
One of our keynotes, her name is Kelsey Tanish, and
I've never been to Austin, Texas, so I have a lot of never.
Any recorded clips or anything that you guys put on your sites or YouTube?
I'll give you the spoiler alert. We might be coming.
It's like an annual reunion. I get to see, and it's like an annual tradition. This is Mary Tess,
Sam,
Eric,
Marcella,
LA.
And Sydney. Welcome to med-surg Moments, the AMSN podcast.
This podcast is an engaging look at the lives of and surrounding medical surgical nurses.
We're proud med-surg nurses just like you, sharing our stories, insights, and experiences to support you in your nursing journey.
Today we're talking about the upcoming 2025 AMSN Annual Convention. To help us get ready, we're very pleased to welcome back to the show a very special guest co-host, AMSN President Dr. Kristi Reguin-Hartman. Kristi, are you ready for the convention?
I am ready. I'm almost packed and ready to go.
Well, that is awesome to hear because me too, I'm very, very excited. A lot of people are getting excited as well. But before we dive into the conversation, let's begin with some personal updates. Kristi, tell us what you've been up to.
It's been a busy few weeks. I've had a travel trip to visit some family in Montana, which I was excited about. That was a state I had yet to visit. That was a lovely time, some really beautiful weather up there, and we were able to get some hiking in and some outdoor time, and that was a really good trip. On the work side, I was able to travel to a couple different hospitals in the past couple weeks. One of the things I do is help with workflows with alarms and telemetry monitoring. And so I've been able to hang out with some nurses in Ohio and some nurses in South Carolina, and that was a lot of fun from a work perspective. So that's kind of what I've been up to. How about you, Marcella?
Well, it is fall. Busy time for me because 3 of my 4 kids have birthdays in October. And I'm really bad at planning ahead. So it's always like a week before the first birthday. And I turn to my husband and I'm like, yeah, so I kind of want to do a giant party for all 3 kids and invite all our extended family. And I haven't planned anything yet. Turn it into kind of like a Halloween birthday situation. That's so fun. I tell people they can come dressed up. So chaos, but fun. A lot of fun. My teenager is starting her sophomore year at a new high school. She loved her last one, but it was just very small. So she's kind of looking for the big high school with a lot of extracurriculars. And so she's switching over to that. So fingers crossed that she has a good year. She's brave being a new student in her sophomore year. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun for her. And then my 3-year-old, she's starting pre-K. She's been begging for school for the last 2 years. So she's excited to be starting only 2.5 hours a day. But I was hoping for a whole day. She would enjoy that. What she would say is, I have a lot of energy. So a whole day of school would have gotten more of her energy out. Very excited to see how she does. And so now at home during the day, I'll have some alone time with our 1.5-year-old. He's the youngest of 4. So I think some quiet time in the house, he's going to be like, where the heck is everybody? And then with work, I am almost going to approach 1 year at this hospital. And it was a big deal when I first got this job because before this one, I had spent 7 years at my first ever job. Different units, but at that hospital, it was the first place I ever worked as a nurse, and I spent 7 years there. And now I'm about to approach 1 year at this hospital, and I'm getting the itch to just look at positions. I think now I just don't want to make that mistake again where I get comfortable in one place. So I'm just looking around, seeing what's out there. But other than that, not too much going on. How about you, Sydney?
That's so exciting. I remember how fun back to school was shopping for like color-coded folders, and maybe that was just me. But I'm so excited for the conference. I'm really looking forward to it. I had applied for work to fund the trip for me so that I wouldn't have to take time off of work to go, and it is approved. So I will be at the conference. I'm so excited. Really looking forward to seeing everyone in person, learning so much, going to Texas and eating some barbecue. It's going to be great. Catch me at the conference. Kalei, what's up with you?
I'm also excited for the conference. I too applied for the AMSN grant to attend the convention, and I was awarded that grant. So that approved me to be able to go to this conference this year. So I'm very excited to see you all. I'm looking forward to seeing all the great things that's involved with AMSN, and now being a member of AMSN, just super duper excited. Also, our church hosted this huge back to school bash. Our summer is extremely busy, but winding down for the fall. The back to school bash was carnival themed. So we had all the popcorn, all the bounce houses, and they had a little farm with the animals. Different animals were there. I think that was very interesting that my church did a whole lot of things to involve the community and the children. And we served over 750 people. So that was amazing in of it itself. Just volunteering and being a very integral part of the church now has just really brought me joy and my family joy. So that was amazing to do that. And professional updates, we just found out that we as a hospital will be approved to open another building. There's a lot of construction that's getting ready to be done. Some of my coworkers asked me, where's our raises? But I'm excited to see more of the community being served with our small community hospital. All right, Eric. So what about your updates?
I would appreciate, Marcella, whenever you give your updates, it's always so thorough. And I love vicariously living through your updates. And Kalei, you're running a close second. I'm not going to say, I'm like, well, I went to work. I went to Costco. I sorted my linen. Jeez, am I just rotting like a fungus on a log right here? I'm just trying to survive, and you're out here making changes in the world. You're like, well, my church had goats and we petted them, and my kids are having their birthday parties in October. We're going to have a party and everyone's coming in costumes. And I'm right here like, oh, Squid Game just finished season 3. Now what?
I got to teach you, Eric. It's called romanticizing the mundane. I do it all the time. Okay.
And I learned from the best. I learned from Marcella.
I'm happy to be at home with my family. And I don't have any real big desires to travel. You know, I love my job. I love who I work with. I love what I do. I love my family. I'm like, I don't know. I just don't need much.
That's a good update. You're feeling blessed. That's your update. And that's a good one.
And I might be having a school lined up, finally getting pushed into it. But that'll be for another episode. How about you, Marites? What's going on with you?
Eric, I always admire your full transparency and authenticity. I think that's so nice to be content. It is a blessing to have that attitude of, I'm just happy.
The nurses at work always ride my tail because my vacation hours are always maxed out because we get like 400. And I never go anywhere. And they're like, well, where are you going to go? I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I'm happy. And so I'll just take a sick day here and there. How about you, Mary Tess? What's going on with you?
We have 2 new colleagues. You know how that feels? You have to make sure everything is all smooth and perfect. I know there's no such word as perfect, but you want to make sure that they're well onboarded. And these are team members for our education department. So as their leader, I want to make sure that they're welcome, they feel comfortable. And so, you have kids or twins, right? You have to make sure that they have the right attention and you know what gaps are. But I love it because we do turnovers in our clinical education department because they get promoted. And so for me, to see them grow is such a blessing, but also bittersweet for me because I have to train and retrain new team members. Personal updates. I was just recently in Rome and the Vatican. This was planned by our kids. They really promised that they're going to be good in school. And so this is kind of like their reward. It was a full pilgrimage. We didn't do any luxurious type of eating and everything else. It was really pure walking, praying. I think we went to almost 20 churches. We didn't go to the catacombs, but we went to the crypts. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's kind of like my creepy thing. I'm like, why am I looking at this skull and crypt? It is very serene. I think that's one of the most sacred, quiet time that I've ever had in my life. I wish everybody would have the chance to go there and travel. It's part of our plan to participate in the Jubilee, so I'm really very happy that you were able to do it. Why don't we move on to our topic? Who's ready for the 2025 AMSN Annual Convention? This year, we're especially excited to be heading to Austin, Texas. Whether you've never been to an AMSN convention or lost count of how many you've attended, we're certain you'll enjoy getting this inside scoop. Kristi, why don't you get us started with some of the highlights and what you're most looking forward to?
Thank you, Mary Tess. I fall under I've lost count of how many conventions I've been to at this point, which is just really a joyful and exciting thing to say. And so if I had to narrow it down, it's definitely connecting with the folks I've met there at previous conventions. I'll get to see the other AMSN volunteers. We'll get together. If it's not about people, what's it about? And that's definitely what I would list as number one, is I can't wait to see everybody, hug everybody's neck, and just have a good time together in Austin, which is a city I've never been to. So I'm excited that we get to explore a new location. AMSN convention hasn't been in Austin before, so we're hoping to have a really good turnout. I've heard lots of things about the bats to see, that we have to go see bats that live under a bridge is a big thing, and also to have some of the food and maybe a little line dancing, perhaps, if we can sneak that into a session or two. But the lineup is really going to be fun. We've got some really great speakers, and so I'll tell you a little bit about a couple of them. One of our keynotes, her name is Kelsey Tanish, and she is somebody who presents her perspective as a patient. She was a 2-time pediatric brain tumor and stroke survivor, and her presentation is going to be about what her lived experience has been and how nurses have made a difference in that experience and what that's like. And she's also really funny. So that's going to be a really good way for us to kick off convention. And then I'm curious what you guys think about this. So then on Friday, our general session is a partnership panel, which we've talked about doing a long time. AMSN with AACN, the American Association of Critical Care Nurses. And so we have a panel about how we bridge that relationship between the critical care and med-surg units. So that's going to be a panel presentation one day. So I think that will be a really fun, engaging discussion. The town hall we're doing this year is going to be really interesting as well. And so 2 of our leading directors on the board, so Alyssa Brown and Mark Lee, they will be hosting medical surgical nursing as relational leaders. And if you've not been to a town hall before, that's really where we have a little bit of a presentation, but then we've got open mics on the floor. And the goal is come and share your experience, come and share what you've done. And we've got some conversation starter questions that'll be up on the screen to keep us all chatting together. A really great place for folks to network and learn from each other. The other thing that I have the privilege of getting to do is we have several awards that will be presented. And one is our Founders Award this year, which is presented to Dr. Bernadette Melnick. And if you don't know the name off the top of your head, there's a good chance you have a textbook with her name on it. I know I had a couple. And so she will give a presentation talking about EBP and wellness and nurse well-being. And so that's going to be really interesting too. And she's just dynamic and fun. And then there's a couple other awards that will be presented throughout the day. We're going to recognize the PRISM award-winning units from the past year. So that's the premier recognition in the specialty of med-surg. So those folks who've been awarded that recognition last year will be able to stand up and cheer, and we'll recognize those hospitals, and that will be really fun. And then some individual awards as well. So that's a really fun part of convention that we get to do every year. We're also doing 2 pre-convention sessions this year, and they're both really interesting. One of them is all hands-on. So we're doing a session on IV insertion skill set, kind of more interactive. And then the other is a writing workshop, which we always get requests for. So there's just tons of options, just depends on what you're interested in. There's just going to be so much. I think over 80 posters this year, maybe it's 90 posters. It's a good, quick, easy way to have a lot of good, fun learning. And of course, the exhibit hall where we get all the fun tchotchke and pens and all the different fun takeaways we bring back from there will be a good time as well. So
we're going to pause for a quick moment to tell you about a special AMSN membership offer just for you through the end of this month.
Hey, med-surg Moments listeners.
We have an exclusive offer for you.
When you join AMSN by September 30th, 2025, using the code AMSNPOD,
You will receive $5 off your membership.
Visit amsn.org/join and be sure to enter AMSN-POD when you check out.
Okay, we're back.
I'm curious, what do you think will be the biggest hit?
I was going to ask about that IV insertion class. So now that I know, I'm even more excited for that part because as a stronger leader on my unit, I always get asked that question. I haven't tried. Can you put this IV in? And I'm like, y'all have to try. A lot of my nurses will not try to attempt to place an IV. So I try my best to encourage my staff to at least try before you ask me or a charge nurse or a senior nurse, because I feel like once you do it a couple of times, you'll get it. You'll get it eventually. And some days I have my off days and I have my on days, but I'm really excited to be a part of that. Just going to the insertion classes and really looking at different techniques that I may not know about, even asking the PIC team every now and then. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most. And for me, I have never been to an AMSN convention. I've never been to Austin, Texas. So I have a lot of never been. So I am just really interested in networking with the other med-surg nurses from all over the world and attending the rapid fire sessions. Another one I have in my back pocket is the mobility. I'm really interested to see the mobility, how to prevent those hospital-acquired infections and handling patients that are immobile and just being creative with that piece of it.
That's great. Don't forget to bring some sort of business card. So if you don't have a paper one, they're kind of on their way out. But there's a couple of different companies that you can do a digital business card so you can make it easy to exchange info.
I'm really sad that I won't be able to make it this year. Any recorded clips or anything that you guys put on your sites or YouTube or stuff like where you were talking about the IV insertion or stuff like that?
Yep, there definitely will be. And there's a virtual convention that will be on the back end this year. So that's another option for folks who can't travel.
Oh, that's so awesome. Virtual access to the convention?
Yes, there's a virtual extension option, and you can find more info at amsn.org/events. And that will include a full day of education on November 6th, which is during Med-Surg Nurses Week. And there will be new sessions from convention and also recorded access to the general sessions. So the ones I have already highlighted that were presented on site. I'll give you the spoiler alert. We might be coming to California soon, like maybe 2026 convention will be maybe drivable distance.
Here first.
How much square footage do you need? Because I could check my backyard. Wouldn't that be fun to have it here?
I think the podcast party will be definitely in the backyard and we'll all kind of hang out. So Palm Springs for 2026. So if you can't make it to Austin here, we've got another option coming closer to you in one more year.
Oh, now I'm super excited.
I always go. I wanted to really see Laura. I promised her actually last year that I'm going. For me, annual conventions, especially AMSN, I get to see a lot of the med-surg colleagues that I have. It's like an annual reunion. I get to see my former students, and it's like an annual tradition. My favorite really is the town hall. And thank you, Kristi, for sharing that. I like that part because it's like really an open forum. And that's where you actually hear the voice of the med-surg nurses. I know we have a session this year, which I'm so very excited as well. It is Dr. Mike who's doing the session about legislative updates. I really love that part. I'm looking forward to that because as med-surg nurses in general, we really need to show up. I also look forward to the posters. Those are quick, easy to understand, and then you get CEs. It was so easy for me to renew my CMS-RN. I love that you can also network while they're presenting their posters, which I think is huge because you can ask right there, but also you can exchange contacts. I agree, Kristi, with the business cards. You also get selfies with everybody. I think that's the fun part too. So always fun to go to conventions.
Yes, that legislative advocacy session is Mike and Trish West, who have both been chairs of our legislative advocacy committee. I'm glad you're looking forward to that one. I think my favorite tip for first-time conference attendees is just know that you're in a room with your people. Med-surg nurses from all across the country, from several different countries. And what it boils down to is that we have the same challenges and we're trying to give better care to our patients. And so if we all start chatting together in this one giant room, the solutions that come out of there are so fun. Or sometimes it's just the debriefing, or sometimes it's just our same sense of humor. And you're just surrounded by people that are there for the same reason. And it's just a great environment. You can talk to anybody at any time and you'll definitely walk out of there with some new friends.
And I wanted to share as well, I'm really very excited for you, Kalei and Sydney. I'll tell you, once you get in, you're hooked. That's it. I can't explain it. You have to experience it. It's a feeling of, I belong here. That's what you will feel. Once you're in that room, just be open to ideas. We work in different hospitals. We work in different healthcare systems, but we speak the same language. We have the same problem because AMSN is there to come up solutions for us, provide recommendations, give the best practices. So make sure you have either a notebook or your iPad or your laptop. I've seen a lot of people, they do a lot of the notes while doing the presentation. I always have a pen and notebook with me, making sure that I put all the notes and journal at the end of each presentation because I forget. And make sure that I take pictures of people that I meet because you meet so many people. I really can't explain the emotion and the feeling that comes with it, but it's just a feeling of I'm here with the people who I belong with.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most is really just connecting and networking and getting exposed to all these great topics that are going to be presented. I've only ever worked within like the military healthcare system. And so seeing how similar or how different we are and what my director has already asked me to present at our nurse executive meeting when I come back. So I'm definitely going to be taking notes. So good idea with the journal and every night because I'm the same way. I'll get back to my hotel and just it'll all be gone. So I'll probably be in a corner hunched back with my little notebook trying to take it all in.
Yes. I'm taking notes as well. And I'll be ready right there with you.
Well, one other thing to prep, make sure you download the convention app before you go. And you can save the sessions you want to attend in the app. And so you'll have your own personalized schedule ready to go on your phone. So you'll have easy access to what sessions you went to, who did them, who those folks are that you can contact later. So make sure to download the app. That's my other quick tip.
Kristi, for those of us that aren't aware of the app, where can we find the app?
I do recall you get an email. You get an email, welcome email once you register, and then you download the app. I'll share.
Oh.
Thank you,
Eric, we're not going to get that email. Eric, we're going to be hosting a virtual watch party. Okay. I'm over here trying not to be sad, not to be the Debbie Downer of not being there. It sounds so exciting. I'm already making plans for next year to meet you all in California, but we're going to have to do a virtual watch party, Eric.
I'm down for that.
Kristi, I want to share, since we mentioned the app, there is a portion in the app where you can win prizes. When you go to the exhibit hall, I always miss stamping that, doing it. So make sure that when you download the app and you visit the exhibit hall, make sure that you get the code and then do it in the app. You can win prizes, cool prizes. Don't miss it.
I should send you a picture. There was like a 4-foot tall dilaudid syringe a couple years ago that we took pictures in front of. That was very entertaining. There are some booths that sell products for sure. So they're usually nursing focused products. So shoes and scrubs and equipment we might want to have. And then there is always some food and snacks around every corner. Beverages to be had as well. So.
Well, believe it or not, we're out of time. But before we go, we'd like to once again thank AMSN President Dr. Kristi Reguin-Hartman for joining us on this episode. Kristi, any final words to our listeners who are on their way to Austin?
I can't wait to see you when you get there. Come by and say hello, and we'll take a picture. We'll chat about it, and we'll have a grand, big time in Texas.
Awesome. To our listeners, thanks for joining us. We'll either see you at the convention or next time on med-surg Moments. We look forward to connecting with you on the next episode of med-surg Moments, the AMSN podcast.
In the meantime, we encourage you to subscribe to med-surg Moments wherever you listen to podcasts.
To reach us, use hashtag med-surg Moments on your social posts.
Or send us an email at amsnpod@amsn.org. That's amsnpod@amsn.org.
We are all AMSN members, and if you love med-surg Moments, we invite you to become a member of AMSN. You can learn more at www.amsn.org.
Finally, the content within the med-surg Moments podcast represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the co-hosts and may not necessarily reflect the views, thoughts, and opinions of the Academy of Medical Surgical Nurses.
Until next time, this is Eric,
Mary Tess,
Sam,
Calais,
Marcella,
And Sydney. And always remember, med-surg Moments is a moment in our lives and a moment in our med-surg careers that makes a huge difference.